I just done got what? I just got done getting ready, and this was like my setup. And I've posted that full video on Instagram, so go check it out, and TikTok. And this is the aftermath. I only used these products, which is great for, well, acne skin. So I'm quickly gonna go get lunch, and then I'm heading out. For lunch, I usually like to have something light, something like a salad. So I'm starting out by chopping up some tomatoes and cucumber and draining a little bit of chickpea water. I'm using a canned chickpea for my chickpea salad. And I start by mixing them all together. I add some lemon for garnishing and a little bit of salt to taste. And what I also like to do is add some herbs, something like a basil or parsley in this case. Mix them again, and it's such a nice and light meal, especially when you're going out and you're in a bit of a rush. This keeps you full like throughout the day. Today I'm taking you shopping to my absolute favorite neighborhood in London, which is Notting Hill, particularly for the Portobello Road Market. The market happens every weekend and also on Sundays during the summer days. It's a hub of community, culture, music, and all things antique and fashion. I absolutely love spending time here most weekends, and it's definitely a popular tourist spot, but I think it's a must visit. Everything from antique silverware to thrifted fashion, collectibles like art, maps are all present in this market. The streets are full of pubs, restaurants, and beautiful stores, from flea market stalls to boutique shops. I have some of my favorite shops, like this shop right here has my heart. It has the most authentic Spanish leather goods, from western boots to all things cowboy are in this shop. They're a little higher price, but I would definitely recommend this one. And if you have seen the movie Notting Hill, it was actually shot right here, and it's such an iconic spot. It's honestly my favorite movie, and I can't believe I actually get to see this. And this is another one of my favorite shops. It's called Kins, and they have the best jewelry and homeware. So definitely add to your list as well. There are a lot of food stalls throughout the market, from fried chips to falafel and Vietnamese food. So cuisines from all over the world. So don't worry about feeling low on energy because you have a long walk. I would definitely recommend checking out these antique shops. They date back to the 1940s and they have the most beautiful collectible items. And I think Notting Hill in general is a very great place to people watch, and a lot of trends actually sprout from the streets of London. Like this watch spot right here has become part of my personality. They sell vintage watches, anything from Casio to Citizen you can actually find here, and I got these two watches here and I always wear them. Notting Hill has such a beautiful cultural element to it. There's so much happening all at once in the best possible way. There's music, there's people, there's fashion, there's food. I think I would 100% recommend anybody visiting to definitely check out the market. When I'm shopping for vintage or thrifted items, I'm not looking for designer labels in particular. I'm looking for interesting textures or fabrics or colors that I think will work with the pieces that are already in my wardrobe. This was one of those shops that's actually in the very beginning of the market. I'm going to put the name somewhere on the screen, so definitely add this to your list. And you can find so many pieces. They have their own in-house label, like the apple tree label, or they have other designers, so it's like a mix of everything. So it's so unique. I found this green cardigan and I absolutely fell in love. It was like a lamb hair, but it was obviously very expensive, so I kept it back. I found some pieces like this, like a block printed dress all the way from India. So I definitely was interested in this, but again, sort of on the higher price. But that's what you get when you go to Notting Hill, because it's one of the more affluent areas in London. Again, I think with thrifting, you need to take your time, you need to visualize, you need to think and really like listen to your own style and visualization. And if you're new to thrifting, I would only advise you to like keep going to these shops and trying things instead of jumping in and buying, because when you thrift, when you spend this kind of time thinking about fashion, you learn more about yourself, as opposed to like seeing it on like a model and thinking, oh, I need this. So that way, A, you save money, B, you find your own style, and 3, you become an expert in thrifting, and you'll be like the coolest person on the street, and like people will actually stop you and be like, oh my god, where'd you get this from? And not to brag, but I do get asked quite often like, oh my god, I love your jeans, where are they from? And then I'm like, oh, they're thrifted. Anyway, I went to this second shop. Oh my god, I fell in love with this dress right here. The immediate thought in my head was like, I'm gonna wear this to like my wedding or somebody's wedding. It was the most beautiful butter yellow beaded dress. And when I spoke to the lady in the boutique, she mentioned she actually sourced it from Spain. Moving along, we are walking towards Ladbroke Grove now, where the Portobello Green Market is, which is essentially second-hand apparel. I always find like the best inspiration here. Oftentimes I've seen pieces here like a capri pant, and then they actually come up in trend and they're everywhere. I think a lot of people have skepticals around secondhand fashion or thrifting, but I feel like thrifting isn't necessarily wearing old clothes. It's more to do with finding unique pieces that are true to your style, because there's so much imagery online and in magazines. You see all these pieces on models, celebrities, and influencers, and I think that's the way marketing works. You are convinced you need it, but I feel like with thrifting you really get to know yourself. You know what will look good on you as opposed to being told by somebody. So the market begins about 10 in the morning till about 5, and around 4 I decided to take a break, have something, and I would 100% recommend this bakery. This is my favorite bakery, called Buns from Home. They make the most beautiful cinnamon buns. They started back in COVID in lockdown and made buns from home, and now they have multiple locations across London. And here I just kind of sat down and really thought about my interest and the things I like, and oftentimes I am sort of exploring London alone, but I actually really like it. You actually never really feel alone. I think a city like London, you don't necessarily feel alone because everybody's doing their own thing. I think being alone really pushes you to be a little more self-aware. You see somebody, you smile at them, like ask them about their day. It just really fills me with so much joy. So I genuinely like recommend exploring a city alone, because a city like London or even New York like will never make you feel alone. After that break, I decided to head back to shopping because I found this store called Hot Futures, and I think it was a new store that they opened up, and they had the most amazing collection of sunglasses, jewelry, but again it was quite highly priced. But if you're in a mood to splurge, why not? When in Notting Hill, you cannot miss a vinyl record store, because Notting Hill, for those of you who might not know, is actually the hub of music and art. Back in the 70s, a lot of artists, actors, filmmakers resided in Notting Hill, and I think they still do. Notting Hill has the most amazing collection of vintage everything, from cars to music to record stores that date back to the 70s. And I really want to get into reading about music industry and filmmaking, because I really want to get into that field. So I was kind of taking my time in this store. I went to see the beautiful, colorful houses that everybody loves in Notting Hill, and that's something that it's really known for. I would recommend not taking pictures because these are people's houses. So yeah, I took the train, I went back home. Honestly, my heart is so full of joy when I whenever I go thrifting, it's like retail therapy. It's like real therapy for me. If you're in the creative field and if you're in London, you have to go Notting Hill. Like you get so much inspiration there. I think I spent a good 5, maybe 6 hours sort of going through the market, what pieces were there, jewelry, accessories. It was really, really interesting to see. I'm actually gonna do like a fun trend analysis or like in a fun way, like what people are wearing in London in the summer, because I feel like London has such a unique style which is very different from any other city, and I think a lot of trends start from London. So I think it'll be really interesting to kind of I'm gonna find some clips that I actually took of people wearing like really cool outfits that I've never seen before, and I think it's a very interesting take on style. And yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to do that. I'm sure you saw the clips I had at the market. It's just honestly the most charming, the most beautiful street market in London, according to me. I've been there a couple of times now, and I usually do my like these key spots that I showed you, and they always have the best things. And even like off camera, I always like have a conversation with the shop owners, the retail assistants that are there, just to kind of understand like, oh, how are you bringing the collection, like who brings the collection, because I'm really, really fascinated. Sorry, yeah, I'm just really fascinated by like who gets the collection, where they get it from, because I, as you may not know by now, but I love thrifting. I tend not to shop from any like fast fashion chain, because the one thing that I don't like and haven't liked in the longest time is that when I see somebody wearing the same thing as me, so I try to buy thrifted things. And I think even the reason it started was because in college I was in fashion college, and I would see all these people wearing the same things from Zara, H&M. Not to say that I don't wear Zara, H&M, but I, for the most part, like 70-80% of my closet I would say is thrifted. Be it like in India, I used to thrift from Sarojini Nagar or from like the weekly markets, Friday markets. And now here in London, I think there's a very good culture of charity shopping where people donate their clothes and you can go buy them. And some of my most amazing finds are from there. I'm going to show you my pieces and how I style them in an upcoming video where I will kind of break down the trends in London so you can kind of make them your own and wear them. And I'm sure like the clips will also inspire you a lot, because I think London has the coolest fashion style. But more of that in the next video. So thank you so much for watching. I'm going to do an outro, like a proper outro for the first time I think. But yeah, I took a lot of pictures with this one, and it's completely the storage is out, so I'm gonna get to editing on this one. But thank you so much for watching, and as always, please subscribe. Your girl is trying to put up videos every week, and I really want to do this because I think it's one of the most interesting things for me to be able to record and edit, and it just gives me a lot of joy to just see London and to show you my favorite spots. So anywho, it's almost like 7, so I'm gonna get home, have dinner, and I'll see you in the next one.